Alright, so I'm going to show you guys getting familiar with Android Studio, what is Kotlin, and a Hello World Android project in Kotlin. I should start this off saying that I am an Android developer by trade, and I just kind of wanted to help the people who are just starting out, help them learn what Kotlin is, uh, what Android Studio is, and how it works. So, if you've never set up Android Studio before, you should probably hop on to developer.android.com/studio and download Android Studio. You can download Android Studios for whatever your operating system is here, set it up, make sure you install the Java JDK, and yeah. So we're going to go ahead and show you what it's like after it's already been set up on my computer. And this is Android Studio here. We're going to start off with this first screen because you'll pretty much only see this screen whenever you're not in any other Android project. But once you're here, you'll be able to click Start a New Android Studio Project. And if you do that, it'll give you a screen where you can fill out some stuff to do Android projects. I'm going to go ahead and fill out the company name as example.com and give it the project location and include Kotlin support. Just check that box there. And with that, we can go ahead and let's rename the application to example application. And then click next. We're going to leave C++ support off for this project. We're going to go ahead and check the box for phone and tablet. Give it API 21 and above. And as you can see here, it says that API 21 and later will run on approximately 71.3% of devices. And if you click the Help Me Choose, you can actually see the breakdown. The further back you go, the older the Android version you support, the more Android devices you'll support. The newer you support, the newer libraries and SDKs and APIs that you can use. So Android 21 right now seems to be right in the happy middle, where we still get 71% of the users, but we also get a whole bunch of newer libraries. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. We're going to just hit next. All the other boxes don't need to be checked. And we're going to go ahead and do an empty activity because it's basically a blank slate that we can go ahead and show you exactly how everything in here works. So we're going to click next and give the main activity a name, which main activity is as good of a name as any. It's going to create a layout file called activity_main.xml, and the main activity is going to be mainActivity.kt, and so it's going to generate the layout files, and it's going to use the app_compat library, which is Google's support library that helps you support older devices without having to write extra code to support those older devices. Now we click Finish. It's going to go ahead and generate all the files. Which can take a couple minutes, but shouldn't take too long here. And there we go. We are in our empty project here. Now I'm going to click this project button on the left that shows you all the files in the Android app. Shows you your build files, your Java files, and all of this. We see our main activity file, and if we expand the res folder, we can actually see the layout file, which is activitymain.xml, and we can see our build.gradle files. Now, in order to run this, you have to either connect an Android device, which I'm not going to do for this example. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do it on the emulator, which is the other way you can do it. So, two ways again, either the device or the emulator. So in order to start up an emulator, you can go to Tools, Android, and then AVD Manager. Click on that. That'll allow you to create a virtual device. I've already created one here, but just so you guys can see the process, I can go ahead and show you how to create a virtual device. And so you'll just go down to the bottom here, click Create a Virtual Device, and then you can pick out any device. I like to pick out the smaller devices with the lower resolution screens. And then let's see if there's a good screen size here. We're going to go with one. Let's go with this one. We're going to hit Next. Tell it that we want it to be API 27. Why not? We'll click Next and click Finish. Now we can click on our newly created virtual device, click this little Run button, and it's going to go ahead and launch this virtual device. Cold boot snapshot doesn't exist because this is the first time I've ran it. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, or minimize this AVD. And as you can see, we can move the device around, and it can act like a regular Android device. So now we're going to go ahead and run our code by just going back to Android Studio, clicking this Run button, and then selecting our virtual device, which we had launched. Click OK, and let's click back to our virtual device here. And it's going to do a bit of building and eventually run it, and we should end up seeing it on the screen. Now while it's building and running, I guess I can walk you through what a couple of these files do. The activity main.xml is the actual layout of what it's going to show. And if we click on this Design tab at the bottom, we can see the layout of what it's actually supposed to look like whenever it ends up on an Android device. So as you can see by the component tree here, you can see that it's a constraint layout and it has a text view. And this text view is just centered inside of the constraint layout. The main activity is the actual Kotlin file, which it extends app.compat activity, and it runs this onCreate function, which references this activity main.xml and calls set content view on this XML file. So basically, Android's doing a whole bunch of stuff in the background to turn this XML file into Java objects that you can access and use and manipulate. And so yeah, We're going to go back to the emulator because it loaded, and here it is. It's actually running in the emulator. So we'll get more into how Kotlin works and how Android interacts with it, and how we can do more than just a simple hello world in the next video. Till then, I guess make sure you like and subscribe my video and share it with anybody else who's looking to get into Android development. Thanks guys, have a good day.